What's going on? It's Jason Heath here, and I have had such a great time going through David Alan Moore's recent course on German bow technique. And now, full disclosure, I'm a French bow player. So you might think, why am I going through a German bow technique course? Well, actually, that's a good reason, right? I've always felt like I never had a great grasp on German bow fundamentals. And so when I saw that this course was coming out, I knew I really wanted to dig into it. And it's been great, not only for getting a better understanding of German bow, but also just bowing in general. David Alan Moore is a bassist in the Los Angeles Philharmonic, the LA Phil. He teaches at USC, the University of Southern California. I've had him on my podcast several times, and he's just one of my favorite thinkers out there in the world of double bass and in the world of music. It's really excellent, and I highly encourage you to check it out. Let's take a look at what's inside.
Okay, let's take a dive into the Discover Double Bass website. And if you haven't been here before, this is how it's all laid out. There's just a little bit of introductory info about the site, super cool site, and all these tutors. So these are all the different people that offer courses here. And I'm slowly going through all of these courses, which has been a lot of fun. But today we're diving into David Alan Moore's course. And you can click on David and just learn a little bit about him here. And like I said at the outset, he's a member of the LA Phil, teaches at USC, teaches at Domaine Forget, which is a wonderful place. And he has two courses on Discover Double Bass. I've reviewed both of them now. Well, this is the second review. The first one was for fractal fingering, which is an incredibly cool course as well. But let's dive into German bow techniques. You can click here and it'll open up. And here's the course. I am actually enrolled in this course. So if I go in, you can see my courses. Here's fractal fingering, which I finished. Here's German bow technique, which I'm 96%. I guess I must not have gone through the last lesson on these, but that's okay. So click into German bow technique. And this is a look at what you're going to get here. So chapter 1, the fundamentals. This course, David makes it clear from the outset that this is not intended to replace the in-person teacher experience. He covers also in this introductory part thoughts on rosin, which is a really big topic, and when to apply it, how much to apply, things we think about all the time. Also, hair tension, the 3 basic elements of sound production, and where to orient your thinking while you're practicing these fundamental concepts, what you should be thinking about. He also dives into things like the position of the bow on the string, how the thumb and the first finger of the bow hand add weight to the string. It's very interesting, and it's different than what I was expecting in terms of German bow. Again, I'm very much a novice in the German bow world, so I learned a ton just in this first chapter. In the second chapter, we get into bow arm gestures. And something that I really took away from this was how David emphasizes the importance of creating very elegant physical gestures in all aspects of bowing. So there are no angles, there are no squares, there are no triangles to the shapes that are being created by the arm. He also talks about concepts of folding and unfolding, kind of how upper string players think about bowing. Very interesting. And David also lays out a manner of practicing these concepts in short intervals, 5 to 7 minute intervals. Chapter 3 is all about the bow hold, and this is where the video course format is so handy because there's so much granular information here, and you can go back and dig into each aspect of the bow hold in great detail. So many concepts here: balance point, the concept of a hot bow, methods of finding a bow hold, the individuality of approaching the double bass, just the size of the instrument makes that such a big thing. How there's actually no hold in a bow hold, that word is kind of a misnomer. Balance exercises, bowing planes, so many great things. Chapter 4 is a detailed examination of bow control, digging into concepts like changing planes, drawing a straight bow, the sound concept, direct and resonant sound, feeling the vibrations of the bow, adding weight to a plane, and changing the point of focus to enhance the learning process. So many great takeaways from Chapter 4. Chapter 5 is all about bow changes and different curves. David uses an app that I love called Tonal Energy to analyze aspects of bowing technique. Super interesting how he does that, how he actually thinks about playing a 6-string bass in terms of practicing bow planes. Very interesting. And again, emphasizing the non-angular patterns that you create, the elegant gestures in the bow arm. Chapter 6 is such a useful chapter, developing technique, and David explores off-the-string strokes, working through frustration, switching from pizzicato to arco, practicing advice, and so many other things. Bow divisions. It's a great chapter, full of great information. And the course wraps up with a conversation with David Allen Moore and Jeff Chalmers. Here's just a few short excerpts, and you can find the whole conversation on YouTube and on the Discover Double Bass site.
What are the kind of common problems that you see with German bow?
At least in my experience, I don't know that I've seen like common faults. I mean, you can always go back to the, I guess for lack of a better term, like the stereotypical things that the German bow is kind of short and pecky and the French bow is unfocused or something like that. But I really find that it's, at least these days, and the players I'm fortunate to work with, it's driven by their aesthetic more than that they're kind of exhibiting typical qualities.
So that's just a quick look. I enjoyed it. I'll bet you will too. If you want to check it out, we have links in the show notes. If you enjoyed this video, we're making these every week. Like and subscribe and share the love. You can follow us on our podcast, Contrabass Conversations, at doublebassblog.org, our blog, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff is linked up. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.